Thank you. My name is Mike Hackman. I'm the Global Director of Sales and Business Development for FastModel. It's a great honor to be here with you, a great honor to follow the legendary Ettore Messina, and also to be speaking and presenting in front of the coaches of Serbia. So my name is Mike. This is RJ Bowman. RJ and I are going to be presenting to you about our software. So once again, the FastModel, to introduce ourselves to you, or a company based in the United States. Our focus has been on the United States mainly. Just recently, we're focusing our business more outside and bringing our software to Europe. Our platforms, our software is used by all levels of basketball. As you can see, we're trusted by the NBA, all the NBA teams, WNBA teams, G League, Coach Calipari at Kentucky. All the major NCAA programs use our software. Our focus, our mission for our company is to basically to empower you, the coaches, empower coaches and players to maximize your game through cutting edge technology. And we do that by focusing on three basic workflows, right? The first workflow is about the play diagramming, and FastDraw is the product that many of you may already use. It's used by tens of thousands of coaches around the world, but that's specifically for the play diagramming, and RJ is going to walk us through those things here in a minute. The second workflow is the scouting, game scouting and player scouting. This is called FastScout Pro. This product is aimed more towards professional coaches with the automated data. The automated data is a game changer, and the amount of time saved for coaches. And then the last workflow is the off-season when you're building your roster. Once again, takes advantage of the automated data, takes advantage of our mobile apps. And so with that, I will turn it over to RJ. Yep. And let him, I'm sorry, I have one more slide. RJ, go to the last slide. So a lot of you work with Synergy or Instat or services and programs like that. We work in conjunction with everybody, right? So our platform is about helping you, the coach, be better organized, helping you, the coach, communicate better within your staff and within your team. Everyone knows there's not a successful coach on the planet who isn't organized, who doesn't communicate well. So what our platform does, there's so many services that are available to you coaches. How do you keep track of it all? And the power of our platform is we aggregate, we bring all those services together on one platform, organize it the way you want it organized. It's completely customizable. We know every coach is different. Every coach wants things done his way. So we allow you to customize that. And then communicate it, right? You can have the best winning game plan, but if you don't communicate it properly, then it's worthless. So aggregate, organize, communicate, and RJ will show you the three different ways that we do the communication. So with that, I'll turn it over to RJ.
Thanks, Mike. I used to work at Marquette University in the Big East for about 6 years. And while I was there, I also helped out USA Basketball, part of their U16 team, U19 team, and their Olympic team. And throughout my experience with all of those teams, used FastDraw, FastScout, and Prospect View to help us gain an advantage on our competition. So excited to share these platforms with you. So the first one I'll go over is FastDraw. And this is meant for diagramming your plays. What we're trying to do is digitalize the process of drawing up plays and maybe filing them in a file cabinet or putting them away somewhere where you might end up losing them years down the line. So we've got a way to sort all of your plays after you draw them. You can see here that dates back to 04-05. We've got coaches with thousands of plays in here dating back multiple years. And it's been really beneficial for them to keep it. So I'm going to unsort all of this stuff here, and we'll get going. I'm going to go ahead and create a new play, and we'll name it, we'll just do hammer ball screen. I'm going to click OK, and we'll update that filter. So now you'll see that I can drop players on the court wherever I need them to be. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the 1 right there. We'll put the 2 over there, the 3, the 4, and the 5. I'm going to go ahead and give the 1 the ball, and we'll have the 5 come up inside the screen. We'll redraw that. After I place all of the players on the court, my mouse, you see, immediately changes to a pencil, which is allowing me to click, drag, and drop where I want them to be. So then I'm going to bring the 1 off of that screen. We'll have them drive to the basket. We'll have the 4 set a hammer screen for the 2. Have the 2 come off of that. The 3 go to the corner. So now this is the first part of the play. We all know that there could be multiple parts of a play. So I'm going to click Fast Build, and it picks up exactly where it left off over here. I'm going to have the 1 now kick it out to the 2, and he can shoot it, do whatever he wants. We'll stop it there. After I've done this, I'm going to click Fast Share up top. And what that does is it's going to send plays to FastScout Pro and the rest of your coaches that are on the Fast Draw account. And from here, you can build playbooks, you can print them out, hand them to your staff or your team. It's kind of limitless on what you want to do with that. So now I'm going to go to Playbook up top here. We'll go New Playbook. And I'm going to enter in a playbook title. We'll just do Belgrade Clinic, because this can also be used to draw up drills that you guys have seen today. We'll do drills for the chapter name. I'm going to go ahead and click Done. And then I'm just going to drag and drop these plays over here. And I'm going to, once I did that, I can kind of adjust them however I want. But you guys probably obviously have more plays in your playbook. This is just for example purposes. Once we're done here, I'm going to click on Preview, because I want to print it out and give it to my staff or my players. Let me zoom out so you can see that. So that now we've got all of our table of contents here. And if I click Next, these are the drills. I drew up a Coach Ivkovic drill from earlier when he was speaking in here. So it kind of keeps everything neat and concise, and you're able to, like I said, print it out, create a PDF of it. So I mentioned earlier that all of our software works together, and I can send these to FastScout Pro, which I'm going to bring up here in a second. Just going to check our Wi-Fi to make sure that everything is working. What's the password? Okay. I think we're good now. Yep. All right. A few technical difficulties. So now this is FastScout Pro, and this is what Mike was talking about earlier. All of the data here is completely automated and aggregated according to your needs and how you want to view it. This is the Pro version, so this is available for professional teams throughout Europe, and we do have a youth version that just doesn't have the automated data. So if I zoom in here, you can see that we're able to see some of these stats, able to aggregate all of these stats. If I scroll down, we've got advanced stats, points per period, pace, and box score stats here. Zoom in a little bit more. So now if I zoom back out, I can adjust how we view these and so forth. Same thing up here, I can choose which games I want to see the stats for. We also will automate a schedule as well. And I can click on some of these teams here to now view their stats and their opponents. So the whole point of this is to kind of get a head start on scouting for your opponents. I'm going to move on to the opponents up top. You'll see a schedule tab. You'll see an all team section. Again, I can click on a team here and I'll be taken to their stats. I'm going to move towards scouts here because this is where coaches spend most of their time. So I put together a couple of example scouts in here. And I want to be clear that these are all example scouts. These are not scouts that Coach Messina has put together. We're not sharing any of his information. We protect all of our teams' scouting reports and their information. So these are just example scouts. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the scout for Virtus Bologna here. Give it a second to load. And you can see that all of this data is automatically pulled into the scout. If I zoom in a little bit more here, there's our box score data. Here are some more team stats. Just kind of working my way down through the scout, and all of this is completely customizable according to your needs and what you want to see. We've seen scouting reports that are more complicated and more detailed than this, and we've seen scouting reports that are less detailed than this that are pretty simple. The fact that we automate all of our data allows us to, again, customize how we want to view it. So for example, if you wanted to bring in a scouting report on the bench with you during a game, what I would do is I would print off their worst free throw shooters. So I would just sort this, and that I could immediately tell our coaches who to foul at the end of a game. Just scrolling down even more, we have lineup data available as well. Here are some clutch stats, just if you want to know who they're going to at the end of the game. And then we get into some shot charts there. I'll zoom out a bit so we can see all of the shot charts. But you see different ways to format it. Again, completely customizable to your needs. Here's some defensive shot charts. These are some of the more widely used tiles in FastScout Pro, and these are the personnel tiles. So we bring in all of this data for the specific players. We automate the headshots there. That comes through in our data feed, and then I chose to add these individual shot charts. What's great about these, and also all tiles in FastScout Pro, is the ability to add video to your tiles. So I'm going to click on that play button, and now I'm taken to a page where you can upload video. I've got video here from my desktop. So if you use Huddle Sports Code or Instat, you can upload your video from there. And we do have an official partnership with Synergy where our cloud talks to their cloud. So I'll click Done down here. And I'm going to scroll down, and you'll see where those plays that I was talking about in Fast Draw fit on the scouting report. So you can add, maybe your opponents have some actions that they run at the end of a game that you want your players to be aware of. You could add those in here. So now, Mike talked about aggregate, organize, communicate earlier. The aggregation part we do on our end. The organizing part is kind of what I just walked through, and that would be up to you all to do. And then the communicate is the most important. So because none of that matters if you can't communicate it to your players or to your staff. So we've got 3 ways to do that. First way would be to print it off, create a PDF of it. You can hand out hard copies or email it to anybody. The second way would be to utilize presenter mode, and that's meant for a team meeting or a staff meeting where you've got access to a projector or a TV. You guys are in the room together going through the scout, and we see coaches that put together scouting reports specifically tailored for presenter mode so that it's not as detailed. Maybe they don't get into a lot of the analytics that we provide. It's more of just these personnel tiles and the video afterwards. Let me play this so that you get an idea for how this looks. So you can integrate film with your scouting reports. I'll get out of this. And then the third and final way of getting this information to your team is through our mobile app. And I'll bring this in. So this is a live look in at my phone right now. And you can see that everything over here is the same exact order as it is that we just built it in here. I'll tap on team box score, scroll to the right to see some more stats there. if I scroll down to the personnel tile, again, scroll to the right, see some more stats. I can tap on his shot chart to zoom in or out. And then we can also play video from the app as well. And then we could make it bigger if we wanted by turning the phone sideways. So I'll get out of the Scout for now. And then the last part that I want to touch on with FastScout Pro is that we automate this process for you. So like, let's say you've built this for the first game and you want to repeat this format from game to game to game. So what we would do is come up here to the Create Template section. We'll go Belgrade Clinic Template. Click Save. And then we'll click Done up top after it tells me that a new template's been created. So we'll click Done. We'll go New Opponent Scout. Let's pick a team. Let's go Tortona. And then I'm going to choose Save Template and choose the template that I just created. I'm going to click Create. And it'll take a bit to load here because it's compiling all of that data for Tortona. So now all of their stats are in, and it's in the exact same format that we built it in previously. Their leaderboards here, and if I skip to the last pages here, we get their players, their headshots are automated, as well as the individual shot charts there. So that is FastScout Pro. That FastScout Pro combined with FastDraw are more meant for your in-season workflows where you're preparing for opponents and preparing your own team. I now want to move on to Prospect View, and this is meant more for roster management and evaluation of prospects. So we help you build a database of players around the world. We've got access, like Mike said earlier, we've got access to leagues all across the world. So you could add players in here from the NBL in Australia, the G League, anywhere. So I'll touch on a few things, and then I'll kind of work through a workflow here. We've got our database here, their names, any biographical information, their measurements, contact information. So if I click on the phone there, his phone number would pop up. And then if he went to school, that would appear there. And then everything to the right is all custom information according to what you want. So I just added these columns here because I thought it was important for a database of players. So I'm going to go ahead and click on a player. And it's going to pull up his player profile where we've got his contact information up top, his fields below. And now if I want to see his stats, I can click on, it looks like a bar graph, I'll click on that, and it'll bring up his player page. It'll take a bit to load here. Give it a minute. Yeah, here we go. Looks like it's starting to load. So there are all of his stats, and I'll zoom in so you guys can see that. Here are all of his stats from this past season, so that you can get an idea of how of how he played last year. So let me go back to Prospect View. On the right side of the screen here would be any tasks that you could assign your coaching staff, any notes about the player that you've taken here. You could add any video or documents as well. Maybe you add like a passport or a visa for the player if they need it. That's all. It's all meant to keep track of the player. The thing that's great about the notes is if you're working with scouts across the world, you can have them added to your account. Maybe a scout has watched Cat Barber in a G League game somewhere, and he can go in here. He can click on notes right here, add a note, and maybe we go July 1. Great game from Cat today. Think he fits well. And we can save that note. Now I'm going to come over here and refresh the page, and the note should appear there. And what that does is it eliminates the need to, here's our note right here. So you saw that coming in real time, and that eliminates the need to compile notes from emails or text messages, and it keeps everything in one place. So now I'll go through a workflow of what this would look like. Let me make this a little bigger. So let's say you're watching a game somewhere and you want to add a prospect. You see somebody that interests you. Click on Add Prospect. Let's go, say the player is from Division I. He played this past year, and we'll just do Duke, and we'll do Joey Baker here. His profile, his picture is going to automate, and his name and height will. We'll add Duke. Maybe we'll add some contact info for him. We'll just put in an example phone number, 01. And then we'll add an email address for the player as well. Maybe this is his agent's email. So you can customize the contact fields as well. We'll just go example at email.com. And then we'll fill out his fields accordingly. So he's a guard. He does not have international experience. He's not signed for next year. He played in the NCAA last year, and he didn't play on a national team last year. So now we'll click Save. He'll be added to our database here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that bar graph next to his name. There's this right there. And now his player page will begin to load. And so now I can take a look at his stats and get a better idea of how he played last year and whether or not I'm interested. Let's say I'm looking at his stats. I think that it looks great, but I kind of want to see how he compares to other guards that I've loaded into our database. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to Manage Lists, and this is where the fields come into play. So let's go to Manage Lists, Add List, Rule-Based, Guards, not signed for next year. Just because I want to see guards who are still available in our database. We'll pick guard, and then we'll go, he's not signed, and we'll click Save. So now my list has been created. Let's take a look at guards who are not signed for next year. Here's my list of guards that fit that criteria. And I'm looking and I see Quinn Cook. Okay, let's take a look at him. We'll open up his profile. Let's take a look at his stats here. And we'll open up his player page. And now this is going to load. And let's say that, and looking at him, I kind of like it. I like that he's experienced. And he's been around in multiple professional leagues for a bit. I like the experience over somebody that doesn't have as much experience. So now I want to go back, and let's say that I want to rank him higher on our priority list. Well, we've come up with a workflow for that. That's our draft board here. And I previously had Quinn Cook all the way at 3 for point guards. I'm going to drag and drop him to the #1 spot because I liked him. And you can do the same with other players. You can drag and drop players as you see fit around here. So it's always updated in real time. And there's never any miscommunication about the rankings of players or where you have them. So now let's say that you liked Quinn Cook so much, you want to contact him. Let's go back to the app here, and we'll go back to our database of players. They find Quinn Cook. There he is. Tap on his profile. And because I've got a number loaded in for him already, I can click on that number, and he's going to get a call from me now. So it makes it very easy to contact the players straight from the app. So that is what we've got for Prospect View. Hope you guys found it interesting, and we appreciate your time there. Okay.
Thank you, RJ. So I know we threw a lot of details at you, a lot of information, hard to do with this in a big gym with the screen. So we'll be around to answer questions. But once again, we're all about helping coaches. We're all about empowering coaches, helping you organize, aggregate, bring all that information onto one platform, organize it the way you want it organized, and communicate it best to your team. Our workflows, the Fast Draw, the Fast Scout Pro, and Prospect View. So we'll be around later with any questions. We're happy to answer them. So once again, thank you to the Serbian Coach Association for having us, Strahinja for being such a wonderful host, and thank you.